The idea that Usher has been arrested because of something Justin Bieber said has been a topic of conversation on the internet. Bieber and Usher getting into a confrontation at a party has the internet connecting dots between the two of them, Diddy, and events from over a decade ago. So let's look at what happened between Usher and Justin Bieber, and where this arrested claim is coming from. On March 15, 2026, the 98th Academy Awards took place. That night, as is tradition, Beyoncé and Jay-Z hosted their annual gold party afterwards at the Chateau Marmont in West Hollywood, where attendees like Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan and a long list of other A-list names gathered for what is typically one of the most exclusive events on the Hollywood calendar. Among the confirmed attendees were Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, Teyana Taylor, Timothée Chalamet, Kylie Jenner, Austin Butler, Jacob Elordi, Emma Stone, Emma Watson, Kendall Jenner, Megan Fox, Kris Jenner, Sofia Vergara, Vin Diesel, Jon Batiste, Chloe Bailey, Vanessa and Natalia Bryant, and Justin's wife, Hailey Bieber. Both Justin Bieber and Usher were in attendance, and according to TMZ, their interaction that night was anything but friendly. Usher came up to Justin at the party with energy and anger, and the two got into a heated exchange. That report dropped on March 19, 2026 and set the internet on fire. Now here is where accounts differ. TMZ reported that Usher and Justin Bieber got into it at the Oscars after party hosted by Beyoncé and Jay-Z, and that some people were saying it ended up as a fist fight between the two. However, Bieber sources say there was no physical contact, but it was intense. It is still unclear what the argument was about, though sources say it did not drag on. Despite the brevity of the exchange, the fact that it happened in a room packed with celebrities made it impossible for the story to stay contained. The event had a strict no phones policy, though details of the spat quickly leaked. TMZ reached out to Usher's camp but did not hear back. They were told Justin has been trying to erase everyone in his past, and one source connected to JB said he has always been rude to Usher. That last line caught attention because it suggests a pattern, not a one-off incident. It implies that whatever tension exists between Bieber and Usher has been simmering for a long time. The last time the two were seen out together was in 2022 at Coeur d'Alene Lake in Idaho. No word if cops were called that night at the Oscars party. So let's be clear, on the night of the party there was no arrest. There were no police. There was a verbal confrontation between two men, who once stood side by side as one of music's biggest mentor-protege partnerships. But the arrest claim didn't come from the party itself. It came from the chain of events and allegations that the public started linking together once this story broke. To understand why people are jumping to those conclusions, you first have to understand the full history of these two men, and the man who connects them. You cannot tell the story of Justin Bieber without talking about Usher Raymond. It's impossible to tell the story of Justin Bieber without Usher. The R&B superstar took on the responsibility of mentoring Bieber almost immediately in his career. His manager at the time, Scooter Braun, and Usher signed the young star as part of a joint venture. The story goes back to 2007. Scooter Braun discovered Bieber on YouTube in 2007 and brought him to Atlanta to meet Usher, who ultimately won a bidding war against Justin Timberlake to sign the teen under his RBMG label. That label, Raymond Braun Media Group, was created specifically to develop Bieber's career. They then parlayed that into a deal with L.A. Reid and the Island Def Jam Music Group. From there, Bieber became one of the biggest pop stars on the planet. As Bieber rose through the ranks and became a pop superstar, Usher remained a mentor the entire way. They collaborated on records, they shared stages. Usher guided Bieber's first steps in the industry, collaborating on hits like Somebody to Love, and presenting him at major events including the 2011 Grammys. At the time, Usher described himself as a brother and protector. Their bond went beyond business. Usher even attended Justin and Hailey's wedding in 2019. He was not just a label head. He was a fixture in Bieber's personal life. But things started to shift. Tensions began surfacing publicly in 2024 when Usher invited Bieber to appear in his Super Bowl LV'd halftime show. Bieber declined. In a 2024 interview with The Breakfast Club, Usher said Bieber declined the opportunity, probably because he had a different idea for his career at that time. "We're going to do something else in the future, but no love lost or anything like that," Usher said. He played it cool publicly. But according to insiders, the rejection stung. An insider previously shared Justin is flattered that one of his mentors, Usher, wants him to be a part of the Super Bowl, but he is leaning towards letting Usher do his thing, and Justin would rather have the opportunity to do the Super Bowl on his own in the future if he were to be asked. That moment reportedly added to the growing emotional distance between them. Then came January 2025. On January 13, 2025, global pop star Justin Bieber unfollowed his former mentor and longtime friend Usher on Instagram. That might sound trivial to some people, but in the world of celebrity culture, it was a statement. Bieber was reportedly purging his 295 million strong Instagram account of people he no longer had affiliation with. In addition to Usher, Bieber also unfollowed and possibly blocked his former manager, Scooter Braun. In 2025, Bieber unfollowed Usher on Instagram alongside several former members of his management team, a move that drew immediate attention. Sources close to Bieber described him as being in a period of actively distancing himself from people connected to his earlier career. Now the question everyone started asking was simple: why? What changed so dramatically that a man would cut off the person who gave him his career? And that is where the third name enters the conversation. Sean Diddy Combs is the thread that runs through this entire story. Before Usher ever met Justin Bieber, he was mentored by Diddy. Sean Diddy Combs helped mentor Usher and brought the then teenage R&B singer to the East Coast to live with him in New York City for a year. The musician recalled his early days in the business while chatting on The Howard Stern Show in a resurfaced clip from 2016. "I moved to New York City and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year," Usher said. Usher was sent to live with Diddy when he was just 14 years old. Despite the rapper having a reputation for being the wildest party guy in the country, record producer L.A. Reid signed Usher to his Layface Records label immediately after seeing him audition. It was decided Usher would be sent to live with the hip-hop mogul to make him more edgy. L.A. Reid himself wrote about this in his memoir. Reid wrote, "Usher was 15 years old, but nothing about him ever seemed juvenile. I was turning him over to the wildest party guy in the country at an age when I still needed to get his mother's permission. But he went to New York for almost a year. I didn't know whether I was being irresponsible or having an epiphany." Usher, over the years, has spoken about what he saw during that time. On The Howard Stern Show, he explained, "I got a chance to see some things. I don't know if I could indulge and even understand what I was looking at. It was pretty wild. It was crazy. There were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it." When Stern asked if Usher would send his own children to have the same experience, Usher responded, "Hell no." On Oprah's Masterclass, Usher went further. He confessed how he was too young to be in there and experience things he saw. "There were a lot of things I've seen, a lot of positions I was put in where I had to make very, very tough decisions. We would fight. I'm too young to even be in here. Why you got me in clubs?" And at his own 35th birthday celebration in 2013, Usher described Diddy's parties, saying, "I was introduced to everything by Puff Daddy when I was only 15. Parties, women, sex, and drugs. I've had a taste of it, but I'd never let it take me over." Usher continued, saying that he wouldn't pass on any of the advice Diddy gave him. Now here is where Justin Bieber enters this particular chapter. Usher introduced the young Bieber to Sean Diddy Combs when he was a teen, and the eventual alleged deeds the bad boy mogul got in legal trouble for years later led to the distancing Bieber did in the aftermath. The story of Usher's mentoring by Diddy is widely known in the music industry, a relationship that in turn introduced a young Justin Bieber to Diddy's circle. Bieber, who signed with Usher's record label in his early career, ended up living in Combs' environment during a crucial period of his adolescence. Old videos that resurfaced last year showing Bieber in the company of Diddy in informal moments fueled public speculation and concern. When Diddy was arrested on federal sex trafficking and racketeering charges, the scrutiny intensified. Usher's own actions drew attention when some 6,000 of his previous tweets suddenly disappeared, days after the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs on sex trafficking charges. At first, many believed the apparent account deletion had something to do with Combs' arrest. But his ex-account came back, and he addressed the controversy with laughing emojis, posting, "Account got hacked and damn y'all ran with it." Usher has yet to directly comment on the allegations against Combs. Amid all of this, a civil lawsuit against Combs by former Danity Kane member Don Richard claimed that Usher witnessed Combs' domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura. This is the background that the public was working with when the Oscars party confrontation happened. For many fans and observers, the line connecting these dots was clear. Usher introduced Bieber to Diddy. Diddy is now convicted, and Bieber is cutting off everyone from that era. After the Oscars after-party confrontation, insiders from both camps started talking to the press, and the two sides of this story paint very different pictures. From Usher's side, the frustration appears to be about loyalty. Usher, according to sources, believes he deserves recognition for his role in Justin Bieber's success. Bieber, on the other hand, sees his journey as one he ultimately navigated on his own. On Oscar night, it reached a boiling point, an insider told the Daily Mail. Usher feels Justin's behavior of late, and in particular on the night, has been out of line. Out of respect for Jay-Z and Beyonce, he chose not to escalate the situation further. But some feel like he was ready for a fight. Sources say Usher felt brushed off yet again. From his perspective, there's a level of loyalty and gratitude that hasn't been reciprocated, and the distance between them has come off as dismissive and disrespectful. They added, Usher, who played a key role in helping Justin get his start, feels that history matters. But then you hear from Bieber's side, and the narrative shifts entirely. According to insiders, Bieber's distance is intentional and rooted in deeper personal concerns, as he feels Usher just didn't protect him. That sentence, "he just didn't protect him," is doing a lot of heavy lifting. It suggests that Bieber's problem with Usher is not about gratitude or business. It is about safety. It is about what happened to him as a child in the industry. A second source pushed back on claims of disrespect, saying, Justin was at a party with his friends and with his wife, Hailey Bieber, and having a great time. What Usher's taking as disrespect may actually be him feeling guilty or ashamed. Read that again. The source is suggesting that Usher's anger might actually be rooted in his own guilt, that what he is interpreting as Bieber being rude might actually be Bieber reacting to someone who failed to protect him during a period of his life when he was too young to protect himself. He feels taken advantage of and has some disdain for his past management. A third source told the Daily Mail, these comments point to a broader narrative, one where Bieber is reassessing relationships tied to his early fame. Justin feels like he's finally seeing things clearly, and he does not like what he sees. At the center of the rift is Sean Diddy Combs, and Bieber's early exposure to powerful figures in the music industry. Usher brought him into that world when he was just a kid, the insider explains. Justin trusted him to look out for him, and now he feels like that did not happen. The fallout between Justin Bieber and Usher has been building for years, and now it has finally exploded into the open. While a tense confrontation at an Oscars after-party made headlines, insiders say that moment was just the breaking point. This didn't start that night. It's been simmering for a long time. One source tells Naughty But Nice. 50 Cent also weighed in. 50 Cent on Saturday, March 21st posted an AI-generated picture that had been going viral on social media depicting the two singers angrily holding each other. As Bieber yells in Usher's face, 50 Cent captioned the picture with, "I was a baby, why you let him do that to me? That's what I thought when I saw this picture." Fifth's comments seemingly reference rumors that Bieber was a victim of sexual assault by Diddy, which the singer denied last year in a statement. That denial is important. Bieber has publicly stated that those specific allegations are not true, but the broader sentiment, the feeling that he was not protected, that he was exposed to things no child should have been exposed to. That is what insiders say drives his current behavior. It also explains why, despite denying the abuse rumors, Bieber is still cutting people off. You do not have to be a direct victim of the worst allegations to still feel betrayed by the people who were supposed to look out for you. You can feel angry about being placed in environments that were not safe, about being introduced to people who turned out to be dangerous, about being treated as a commodity rather than a kid. And according to the people closest to Bieber, that is exactly where he is right now. He is a father. He is married. He is looking at his own childhood through the lens of a parent, and what he sees is something he cannot reconcile with the people who were responsible for him during those years. This brings us to the claim in the title. The arrest claim, fact or fiction? Let's address the title directly. Has Usher been arrested because of Justin Bieber's revelations? As of today, March 23rd, 2026, Usher Raymond has not been arrested. There is no law enforcement statement, no mugshot, no police report, no legal filing that indicates Usher has been arrested for anything related to Justin Bieber, Diddy, or any revelations about his past. What does exist is a confrontation at a party. What does exist is a growing rift between two men who used to be close. What does exist is public speculation, fueled by Bieber's distancing behavior, by Usher's connection to Diddy, and by the broader cultural reckoning happening in the music industry right now. Sources told TMZ that the heated exchange happened after Usher approached Bieber with energy and anger. However, there was no physical contact between the two singers, and police were not contacted, the sources added. Neither Bieber nor Usher has said anything about the rumored conversation yet, and there have been no official statements or investigations announced. Neither Usher nor Bieber has spoken about the Oscars night confrontation, and representatives for both declined to comment. As the dust continues to settle, several key details remain completely unverified. We still do not know which specific event or conversation triggered Usher's intense approach. There is zero official confirmation on the current state of their professional relationship. While some reports allege that Bieber is distancing himself from his past, these remain claims from anonymous insiders rather than on-the-record facts. There has also been zero word on any legal or professional fallout from the night. For now, the conflict is staying within the realm of personal drama, rather than a career-ending scandal. Now, there are some who may have confused Usher Raymond with a completely unrelated news story from January 2026. An usher at a Catholic church in Fredericksburg was arrested and charged in connection with child sexual abuse material. That story involved a church volunteer, not the R&B singer, and the similarity in the word usher led some people online to conflate the two stories, which is how misinformation spreads. There was also a story about Usher's ex-wife. Usher's ex-wife, Tameka Foster, was arrested, but the circumstances were entirely unrelated. It involved a lapsed car insurance issue and a failure to appear in court. A warrant was issued, and upon a return flight to Georgia from St. Barth's, she was arrested by Brookhaven police on January 5th. Again, nothing to do with Bieber or Diddy. As for Usher himself, Usher was seen strolling the streets of LA, looking unfazed after the argument. He has not been detained, charged, or questioned by any law enforcement agency in connection with anything related to Justin Bieber. What is real is that Usher faces the challenge of being seen as a link between Diddy and Bieber and having allowed a young talent to be exposed to a questionable environment. His own revelations about Diddy's house, although old, now take on new weight and demand further public reflection on his responsibility as a mentor. Some observers have drawn a line between the growing distance between Bieber and figures from his past and the ongoing fallout surrounding Sean Combs, who served as a mentor to both artists during their respective rises. Combs was convicted last year on sex trafficking charges, a development that sent ripples through the entertainment industry. So the arrest part of the title is not accurate, but the tension is real. The distancing is real. Bieber's reassessment of his past is real. The insider quotes about him feeling unprotected are real. The Oscars party confrontation happened. Both men are currently focused on their careers. Bieber is preparing to headline Coachella, and Usher is continuing his ongoing music and mentorship endeavors. If you are waiting on Bieber's camp to say something, you might be waiting for a while, as he is gearing up to headline this year's Coachella in April. The cultural takeaway here is the messy, public dismantling of an industry standard. We are watching a star age out of his discovery phase in real time, and it is rarely a quiet process. Whether or not Usher ever faces legal consequences for anything is a question that no one outside of law enforcement can answer right now. But based on everything that is publicly available, the claim that he has been arrested after Justin Bieber's revelations is not supported by any verified reporting. What is happening is something possibly more significant than a single arrest. It is a public reckoning between a mentor and his former protege, between the music industry's past practices and the present moment, and between two men who once trusted each other, and now apparently cannot be in the same room without it becoming a headline. That story, the real one, not the clickbait version, is still being written, and how it ends depends on whether either of them decides to speak publicly about what happened, and more importantly, about what happened long before that night at the Chateau Marmont. If anything changes, if new information comes out, if there is an arrest, if either Bieber or Usher speaks on the record, we will cover it. But until then, that is where things stand.